The NFL preseason is officially done, y'all, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what we've seen this year for these 3 weeks. Also, it's time to get into some fantasy football because it is fantasy football season, and y'all know how I do it, baby. I take this shit very seriously. I'm breaking down the AFC North and South. Welcome to Gridiron Nation, y'all. It's time to get it on and popping, so let's get rolling, baby. Let's do it. Yeah.
It's time I get in the game, forget the money and fame. Stay ready, making sure that they remember my name. I got a hunger inside when the numbers are tied. Yo, I'ma turn it up a level, never will be denied. I got them back on their heels, about to have me a meal. Not Zeke, but I'ma eat the way I'm seeing the field. Take out the competition, they'll remember the name. The wicked one I always bring it, got my head in the game. Now it's on. Finally went and wrote me a song. We the nation, eyes up on the chip and taking it home. Always up in my zone, yo, I'ma alter the plot. Man, it just can't stop. I got him shaking the spot. You got knocked down, go on and get up off the floor. Line up, brace yourself, cause I'ma give it some more. And when you feel the fire that I'm lacing into my rhymes, you know the heat is coming, baby. It's my time to shine now.
Yeah. What is up, familia? Welcome to another episode of Gridiron Nation podcast, baby. Yeah, man. Y'all already know I am your host, Gabriel Garcia, ready to ride with you guys once again on another Sunday, man. It's still summertime, though. You know, we're still feeling that heat a little bit. Got a little bit of mugginess here in my neck of the woods, man, with all this damn rain and everything. Hate monsoon season. We needed the rain, though. So it's all good, man. But hope you guys are out there, you know, feeling good, living well, and most definitely living blessed, man. I am good. I am chilling here, like I told you guys. Trying to stay cool up in here. I'm doing the show a little bit earlier on a Sunday, and I'll have it out by this evening. I know some of you had asked if I was doing a live stream this week. Decided I wasn't going to do that. I'm going to be doing it next week, though. Next week, we're going to do a live stream on the week right before the NFL season starts. So y'all be ready to roll with me next Sunday as we do a live stream. And you guys can, you know, it'll be up on Facebook and YouTube. Ready for you guys to chime in. Give me your thoughts as the show's going on. Give me your input and your comments. All right, man. But I hope you guys are doing good out there, man. I'm chilling, like I said. And I just finished a fantasy football draft. I don't know. I ended up with a pretty solid squad. All right. This is my first one. I got about 5 this year, 5 leagues that I'm in. This was the first one. This was the actual Gridiron Nation podcast. First annual. Yeah, we'll call it the first annual. Inaugural fantasy football season for Gridiron Nation podcast, y'all. And you know, for those of you that are in the league, I thank you guys for participating this year. And hopefully by next year, I know I had a few people actually ask me, man, like about a day or two after I put it out there. And I mean, it filled up fast, guys. So next year, I'll probably be expanding the league by 2 teams. But this year, this is how we're going to roll, all right, with 10 teams. And I haven't told you guys yet what we got coming, but the prize, I'm probably going to do like some kind of gift card for Fanatics for the first place winner. And, you know, of course, a T-shirt. I'm going to try and get a T-shirt for all the guys in the league before the end of the season. And also, I'll be doing a trophy for first place. So second place is probably going to get like just a lesser gift card and something else. You know, I don't know yet. I'm still figuring it out, guys. But there's a free league, so y'all don't be bitching about the prizes. All right, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Don't be coming with, man, this is it. This is all I get is a fucking shirt, dog. Yeah, that's all you get. That's all you get. Pay some money in this damn thing. Help me buy some prizes. I'm just kidding, y'all. Hopefully by next year, man, I'll have a sponsor because what I wanted to do was give like a jersey of your favorite team for the first place winner. But that ain't going to happen this year. All right, budget's a little tight, and it's all good, though, man. I'm going to make it work, man. So we're going to have fun with this. I got 4 more. I got another league coming up here in a little bit. So after this show, I got to jump right into another draft, man. So we're ready to roll, baby. We got a lot going on in the NFL right now. The big news, of course, well, okay, it's because it's the Dallas Cowboys, was Trey Lance getting traded to the Cowboys for a 4th-round pick, man. And I like this move, guys, for everybody involved. It's good for the Niners because it takes this distraction away. Everybody's wondering, what are they going to do with Trey? What are they going to do with Trey? And let's be honest, Shanahan isn't the kind of coach like in his scheme. He doesn't develop quarterbacks. What his scheme requires is just a game manager. Trey Lance was never that. He was never a right fit in the first place because of the fact that the skill set that he had coming out of college is built more for an attack mode offense, but he's still a progress, I guess a work in progress, I should say. So he's going to get some time to sit there. McCarthy's offense probably is the QB3, the emergency quarterback, and he's going to learn a little bit, man. And I think it's a good thing. I mean, this is basically it's a lottery ticket for the Cowboys down the line. It can work in a number of good ways. For one, he knows the Niners playbook. That's all I'm saying. All right, that's been our pet peeve is that damn team this year. But two, he's going to help on this. He'll be on the scout team every week. So best believe that when we play the Eagles, he's going to be playing the part of Jalen Hurts, and it's great because he's very mobile. He's tough. He's strong. So that's going to help out a lot. But what this does down the line for the Cowboys is it gives them some insurance there, a backup quarterback. They're gonna Cooper Rush is only out on a 1-year deal. They extended him only for 1 year this year. And my guess is that they're gonna try to develop Trey Lance this year to be Dak's backup quarterback. As for Dak Prescott, some of y'all are just out there, man. Cowboys fans, y'all are too much. Y'all are too much. Talk about, we should start Trey Lance week 1. Really? Do me a favor. If that's what you're thinking is, or if you've typed that in any comments this week, I want you to take your hand, throw a little bit of baby powder on it, like they do, just to dry it up, get the moisture out. Lean it back and smack yourself in the damn face for that stupid ass comment. Damn, people thinking that he's better than Dak Prescott already. Y'all just hating, man. Hating. He's not even better than Cooper Rush right now. I think he could be. He will be. His skill set. He's just got to learn the offense. He's got to develop. And what this does right now, they're actually in talks with Dak Prescott on another extension. They're working on it. They're planning on getting it done, and they're looking to make him a career Cowboy, and he wants to stay in Dallas. So, what if this falls through? If this deal just catastrophically falls through for some reason, the development of Trey Lance becomes more important. But right now, what they're looking to do is develop him as a backup or as a potential trade piece in the future. All right, that's what's going on here. So this has no bearing on this season, Cowboys fans. So y'all need to just stop with the BS, with the Dak hate. Talk about, let's bring Trey Lance in there, start Cooper Rush. Oh, it's too much. It's too much, man. Makes me say, damn, I hate our fan base too. Not all of you guys, man, but you get what I'm saying because y'all see that same bullshit. On my Dallas Cowboys fan page that I run, got about almost 10,000 followers. Go on and look it up. Dallas Cowboys Nation, y'all on Facebook. All right, follow me. I've been starting to go live. I've been posting some stuff, and man, you said the amount of stupidity that comes out of some of the people in our fan base. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It makes me say, all right, I get it. I get it. Giants fans, JP, y'all, I get it. I see what y'all see, man, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry we ain't all like that, though, all right? So, anyways, the Trey Lance thing, this is it's a good move for Dallas down the line. It doesn't, fourth-round pick, you don't give up a lot, especially for a guy who the Niners traded 3 first-round picks to get. And I don't think he ever got a fair shake there. I'm going to be honest with you guys. They were so patient with Alex Smith. They didn't have the patience with this guy. When he did play, it was in some bad issues. You saw the weather last year. People were talking about the preseason game earlier this year. They were like, oh, well, did you see how much he was on the run? Yeah, because he was playing with the third-string offensive line blocking for him. All right, but that system in San Francisco is not made for an attacking style quarterback. It's made for a quarterback who's going to go in there and just get the ball in these short dump routes to the receivers and to Christian McCaffrey and guys like Debo and just allow them to make plays after the catch. That's what they do. Their blocking schemes and their route running in between those blocking schemes is very complicated. So we're going to see what comes to Trey Lance, but this is good for everybody. The Niners, they get that over with. I'm laughing, though, because y'all got Sam Darnold as your backup quarterback. Y'all better pray that Brock Purdy stays upright all year long. That's all I'm saying. Don't let this dude get hurt, man, because even Sam Darnold, like I said, y'all need a game manager there. That's all they need in San Francisco because of how good that defense is. And now with McCaffrey there and Debo and what they can do after the catch. But Sam Darnold isn't a game manager. Okay, he's gonna lose games for you. So just watch out, Niners fans. That's all I'm saying. Y'all better pray that Brock Purdy does not get hurt this year. So, anyways, let's move on, man. Josh Jacobs, the other big news. He ended his holdout. Thank you for that, brother, because like I said, my fantasy football draft season just started, baby. And he said this right on time. So if I got to go out and get him and he falls into my lap in a draft somewhere, now I feel comfortable getting him, especially because what he did was he basically he was not under contract anymore because he never signed his franchise tag. But because they put the tag on him, he couldn't go to another team. So now what they did was they re-signed a new one-year deal worth up to $12 million. So he's got some incentives in there, and I expect him to ball out again this season because of that. So, yeah, if you're playing fantasy football, you can feel good about drafting Josh Jacobs this year, y'all. All right, so that to me, those were probably the two biggest pieces of news that we've had this week, man. Yeah, that's what I got for you in terms of the news. If I'm missing anything, man, just reach out to me. All right, we'll talk about it. I'm probably going to go live on my Cowboys fan page sometime later today, man, so we can talk about all this stuff with the, now that people have gotten it out of their system and gotten to think about a little bit more that this Trey Lance move did not have any bearing on this year. Cowboys fans, let me tell you guys one thing. You don't want the Trey Lance move that we just made to have any bearing on this season. You know why? Because he's the QB3. He's the emergency quarterback. He doesn't know the offense. He doesn't know the players. He doesn't know the timing, chemistry, none of that shit. All right? So if this has bearing on our season, it's because Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush are both injured. And then y'all can say bye-bye to the playoff run that we're hoping to have this year. All right? So just keep all that dumbass talk. Yeah, just keep it down, man. Put it under the blankets and just leave it there. All right? So this has no bearing on this season, and if it does, then we've got some pretty big problems. So that's all I'm going to say about that. So, anyways, I had to bet some of this shit out, man. My people, man, I love y'all, but damn, y'all get crazy sometimes, man. Give me a second. See, I need some water now. Venting and shit. Take my vitamin. All right, man. Let's get it on, y'all. This episode is all about football. That's what we're doing this week. Except for the fan questions. I did get some fan mail this week, and I got a few questions from Jersey, man. I appreciate you, dog. My co-host over at the Gridiron, if y'all caught the show, the live stream yesterday. Thank you for those of you that jumped on, participated, gave us your thoughts and your comments and everything like that, man. It was a fun show. Y'all be sure to be catching that every Saturday, all right? You can catch the stream on my page or on Jersey's page. You can go on to our social medias on YouTube, and it's going to be there. Speaking of YouTube, Gridiron Nation podcast, I had to start a new YouTube, man. I was having some issues, y'all, when I was doing this live stream. For some reason, it wasn't going to my Gridiron Nation podcast page. It was going to my personal YouTube page, which the Gridiron Nation podcast page is on the same account, just a different channel. So I tried a few things, making it the default. Didn't work. So I just started a brand new page, okay? Brand new channel for Gridiron Nation, but it's called the Gridiron Nation Vodcast. There's a difference there between a podcast and a vodcast. Vodcast is your video version of your podcast. All right. So since it's on YouTube, that's what I named it. So y'all look it up, Gridiron Nation Vodcast, and I'll be I'll post it up here in a little bit. I didn't even add it to my shit today, but that's all right, man. That's all right. So that's all y'all need to do. Gridiron Nation Vodcast. I need y'all subscribing to it. So go on to freaking YouTube. If you're on YouTube right now, it's because you clicked the link, all right, for this recorded version. Hit the subscribe, man. All right, and share it, man. I'm trying to grow this thing, baby. Let's get rolling, y'all, because I need to talk about some fantasy football. I told you guys, just had my first draft, and it's fantasy draft season, guys. I take this shit very seriously because a lot of times I'm playing for money. You feel me? Or prizes. I don't care. I don't care. I'm very competitive like that. Most of us are very competitive like that. If you watch football and you get into this shit, you know what I mean? So if you've ever played sports, you understand what I'm talking about. So, and I'm actually very proud of how I do because I actually made what? I made the playoffs 4 of my leagues last year. One of them I didn't. And then 3 of them I made it to the championship. 2 of them I won. So I'd like to say I'm a little something of a, fantasy football mind. If I do say so myself, I'm not the baddest dude in this world, but I know the key to fantasy football, guys. I'm going to tell you this right now. Your draft, you don't win or lose your well, you could lose it, but you don't win your fantasy football league based on your draft. You don't win it on draft day. Your draft is basically your set pieces, your base pieces. You can lose it there if you don't get the right quarterback or you don't get the right certain guys that are going to carry you there. But the way you win your league is first you got to make the playoffs. All right. So in order to get into the playoffs, there's going to be injuries during the season. There's going to be guys not producing. You're going to have to replace guys for whatever reason. You're going to have to learn to work your bench through bye weeks. And this is how you get your wins, man, in order to get into the playoffs is by learning how to manage your roster. Roster management is everything in fantasy football throughout the season. That's how I usually find my way into the playoffs. All right. I don't always have the top record. I don't always have the number 1 seed. But what I do is I get in because I managed to pull off some strings of games during the season because I'm able to get some guys that are walking me through this season when I need to plug in certain gaps. You feel what I'm saying, in certain positions. And then you've got your set pieces, guys. Those are the guys like last year in one of the leagues I drafted. I drafted Austin Eckler. There was only 1 week that he was not sitting in my starting lineup, and that was during the Chargers bye week. Rest of the time, I rode Eckler all the way to the championship, baby. Yeah. Yeah. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. That's the name of the league. You're looking at the champion. I'm about to take y'all ass again this week, man. JP, Isaiah, my brother Bobo, all you guys. It's on. I love trash talking, man. During fantasy football season, it's just fun, man. But so, that as I'm explaining to you, for those of you, I know Angel, I know you're new to fantasy football, dog, and I'm glad you're trying it this year, man, because it gives you a reason to like really pay attention to the other games, to get into all the other games, man. Makes Sundays a lot of fun. So if you haven't played fantasy football, man, you want to learn about it, hit me up, and next year, man, we'll get y'all in the league, man, and I'll explain it to you a little bit. All right, so. But like I said, roster management is everything and to get into the playoffs. Once you get into the championship, though, that's when you're trying to you're like, I'm going to kind of ride my workhorses here. So sometimes though, it don't work out that way, man. I've been trying in the leagues that I run to cut the season short by about a week or two, because usually the last week of the NFL season, a lot of these guys are benching starters, man. And it affects you if you're in the championship game. So trying to work around that, figure out ways to get around that. So let's look at our fantasy football preview, guys. Hold on, let me pull a little something up here because I got the graphic. What is it on the ticker? It's on the ticker, baby. Yeah, fantasy football season is here, y'all. Now, I got to tell you guys, I was looking through all the different rankings, and another thing, if you haven't done any drafts yet and you're still trying to figure out how to play and how to draft, and you haven't, I would recommend go and do mock drafts if this is your first year doing it and you haven't quite yet drafted in this league. Do some mock drafts so you'll get an idea of how it works. Right? If it's a snake draft, that you have your order for the first round, and the next round it flips. All right, so it kind of screwed me over in this first draft this morning because I had the last pick. It randomizes the draft order an hour before the draft starts. So I was forced to kind of change my strategy, man. But I got back-to-back picks, but it was at the end of the round. So I didn't get the guys that I was going to be targeting. I did all right, though. I got myself a pretty solid roster. So it changes your strategy. So make sure you have a strategy coming in, and you make sure you have a backup plan based on where you're drafting. All right, just in case you get stuck like I did drafting at the back end of the round. You might want to change your strategy in that sense. But you also want to go for guys that like volume. I don't matter if they're on a bad team, guys like Dameon Pierce. Okay, was a rookie last year, had a solid year. A lot of people felt he should have been offensive rookie of the year. Houston Texans were a bad team, but this dude in fantasy, he was solid, man. He was dependable week in and week out up until his injury. So that's what I'm talking about. You're going to want guys that you know are going to get volume, that you know they're going to get the ball. You don't want to be drafting like a wide receiver 3 in the 3rd or 4th round. No, you save that for the back end. You know what I mean? If you need that depth. So, and it's the same with running backs. Be very careful, guys, because it's becoming more and more, and it sucks playing fantasy football for us that play this every year, that a lot of teams are starting to go to running back by committee. And that sucks when you're drafting a running back, man, because they're like, okay, I don't know if he's going to get the workload this week. I don't know who's going to get the red zone, touches. So when you're dealing with drafting guys that are going to be in a committee, it makes it a little bit harder. So I always try to target guys that I know are going to get the bulk of the load. All right, now, if you do get one running back by committee, there's something that we call handcuffing. Let's say you happen to get, oh, damn, let me think. I'm trying to think off the top of my head who might be, who's going to be sharing some snaps this year, running back. Okay, let's say you've got David Montgomery. You drafted him with the Lions, but he's expected, or no, you know what? Here's a better one. Let's say you got DeAndre Swift from the Eagles. Okay, but they've also got Rashad Penny. So you don't know which one of these two guys is going to be getting the bulk of the carries. So if you draft Swift and you have no choice but to draft Swift based on, whatever your strategy changed, you might want to draft Rashad Penny. Or if you're drafting Aaron Jones, you might want to draft A.J. Dillon. You handcuff these guys. All right. So that's always a good thing, a good strategy to have if you're stuck kind of drafting some of these guys. You don't have a choice. The Derrick Henrys are gone. The Nick Chubbs are gone. The McCaffreys are gone. The Pollards are gone. So by the time you get to drafting running backs, you're stuck with a A.J. Dillon or with a, oh, damn it. I was talking about the Eagles. Or you're stuck with a DeAndre Swift. All right, so you might get Rashad Penny in the next pick. So that's just a strategy. Doesn't always work, guys, but it's not always a bad idea, especially because if you have these 2-back systems, there's a chance that one of these guys gets hurt and you already have his backup who's ready to take on the full load at that point. You feel me? So let's look at some of the rankings, man. Like on ESPN, if you're looking for quarterbacks, of course, top quarterback, it's been every year, is Patrick Mahomes. I do know some people to take him in the first round. Diggy, I know you do it every year, dog, and I expect you to do it in today's draft. But you got Josh Allen at number 2, Jalen Hurts at number 3. Now, keep in mind, guys, they got Justin Fields at number 6. He's in the top 10. That doesn't mean he is a top 10 quarterback. What that means is because of his added dimension of running, that is big for fantasy points for a quarterback. If you've got a quarterback that can pick up a lot of yards running, which is where Josh Allen does it with both his arms and his legs, his arm and his legs. So he's always constantly putting up big points. Lamar Jackson does it with his legs. Jalen Hurts does it with his legs. So that gets a lot of points for your fantasy quarterbacks, which is why Justin Fields isn't a bad take if you've got a chance to get this guy. All right. So you got Patrick Mahomes at number 1, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Justin Fields, Justin Herbert, my dude. I got him today. Very happy about that. Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, and Dak Prescott all filling out the top 10 right there. So now, the thing about quarterback, y'all, if you're drafting for the first time, you're playing fantasy football for the first time, if you're not getting a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen in the first round or 2, or even a Joe Burrow, I would probably wait to get a quarterback because you can get some good quarterbacks like Dak Prescott. You can get a Trevor Lawrence. You can get an Aaron Rodgers. You can get a Kirk Cousins. Okay, these are guys that are going to consistently at least give you their projection points and maybe more. All right, from week in and week out, they're going to be solid for you. All right, so that's if you've got if you went number one and you got Justin Jefferson, you're probably going to want to draft Kirk Cousins. Just saying, you can handcuff your receiver and quarterback like that. It works wonders. It did wonders for me 2 years ago when I had Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen. Just an example. All right, so that's a strategy that some people use, but it's really up to you, man. I'm just trying to give y'all, some of you guys, my take on some of this stuff. Now, let's go to the running back rankings. Now, keep in mind, guys, this is PPR, which is points per reception. That means if you're drafting a receiver, you want to get a guy that you know is going to get a lot of targets. All right, a lot of targets. A la CD Lamb last year. He killed it in fantasy because he was the target getter last year. So I still expect him to have a big year this year, even with Brandon Cooks there. But anyways, let's look at the running back rankings in PPR. We're talking Austin Eckler. I'll take it from one. Start at number one. Austin Eckler, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson. Ooh, damn, this dude ain't even seen the field yet. Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard, Nick Chubb, Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, and Travis Etienne Jr. I would actually put Pollard and Henry above Bijan. Okay, because we don't know if Bijan's going to be sharing some of this work with. I know they're going to be a run-heavy offense down in Atlanta, but I mean, you've got Tyler Algier there, who was very good last year in his rookie year. So I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work, but I would put, for my personal rankings, I would put Derrick Henry and Pollard and probably even Chubb over Bijan Robinson. That's just my take, man. But y'all do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna get mad if he falls into my lap and I got to draft him in one of these drafts that I got coming up. So that's where we go with the running backs. Now let's look at the wide receivers, man. This is the PPR machine right here. This is the wide receiver position. And I'm going to give you the top 10 on ESPN, starting with, of course, the number one guy in all of fantasy football, Justin Jefferson. If you take all the positions and you say, okay, who is the number one ranked guy going into this fantasy football season? ESPN, Yahoo, everybody's got Justin Jefferson number one. And if I get the number one pick at any point in these next few drafts, I'm taking him number one. I am. Jamar Chase, number two. Cooper Kupp, number three. Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams. Number 6 is Stephon Diggs. Then you got CD Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown of Detroit, and A.J. Brown of Philly. And then you got Garrett Wilson from the Jets filling out the top 10. Jalen Waddle just missed that top 10, man. Damn. I don't know, man. Like, I'm looking at the top 10 names, and I don't know if I see him taking anybody's spot. Maybe Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't know. Damn, but Jalen Waddle's he's gonna be another guy that you want to try and target if you get a chance, man. Definitely a good option there for your wide receiver too, starting week in and week out. So now Jamar Chase, of course, he's gonna do his thing. Cooper Kupp's gonna be a target hog again this year. Who else are they gonna throw to? Tyler Higbee? Nah, ain't gonna happen, man. If you can get Cooper Kupp, go and grab him because he's gonna have a big year once again in fantasy football. So now let's go to the tight ends, John. This one's tricky, guys. If you've never played fantasy football, you're going to find out it's very frustrating to get a consistent tight end from week in and week out that's going to give you some points. Because unless your name is Travis Kelce or even Mark Andrews, the passing game for their team is not going to revolve around the tight end. Those are two guys that it does revolve around their tight end, which is why Travis Kelce, it's very common for him to go in the first round. It's not common for a tight end for that to happen, but for him, it's not unheard of. All right, so then we got Mark Andrews at number 2, but Kelsey's number 1. We got T.J. Hawkinson, number 3, who I expect to get a lot of. I expect him to get a lot of work this year, guys. He joined the team in the middle of the year last year, just before the trade deadline with Minnesota. So I think they're going to work him into that offense even more so now this year. So I expect Hawkinson to have a big year with the Vikings. Darren Waller with the Giants, he should be seeing a lot of work there because he's only a tight end, but he is their wide receiver 1. Maybe not on paper wide receiver 1, but he's going to be their lead target guy, in my opinion. That's what I see for him, for Darren Waller. Got George Kittle, number 5, Kyle Pitts, Dallas Goedert, Pat Freiermuth out of Pittsburgh, Evan Ingram out of Jacksonville, who just signed his big deal. So he's good to go, man. I expect him to have a big year also with Jacksonville as long as he stays healthy. And then rounding out the top 10 of tight ends is David Njoku. I would have actually put Dalton Schultz ahead of him because Schultz is going to a Texans team now with a rookie quarterback where he's going to be the main. I mean, this guy had a hell of a season last year, almost 1,000 yards with Dallas. So from the tight end position, I think Dalton Schultz is going to have a big year. So he's the only one that I would probably take Njoku out and put in Dalton Schultz in there at number 10. But other than that, I like this top 10 for ESPN. And if you need to look it up, just go ahead and Google it. Fantasy football um, uh, draft rankings on ESPN, and then you can find it all and pull it all up, man. Now, some people like to add defensive players. I've got that in a couple of my leagues. As far as the Gridiron Nation League, I didn't do that this year. So, well, maybe next year. Maybe next year. I'm just trying to get some of you guys that haven't been into fantasy football that much kind of accumulated. I don't know. Trying to get y'all used to this shit. Okay. Knowing how it works, man. So we'll go with the default settings, man, for this year and this one. But some of the other leagues, I do have defense players. And then, of course, this league, we do have a kicker and defenses. And that you always save your kickers and defenses for last, guys. Okay. Don't rush out to get now. If you start seeing those top defenses drop off around like the maybe 7th or 8th round, then you might want to grab a defense. But for the most part, and the kickers, save the kicker for last. That's all I'm saying. All right. Don't draft the quarterback too early if you don't have to, unless they start coming off the board early. I was in the league last year that people start doing that shit. I wasn't trying to take Justin Herbert in the second round, but I had no choice because in the first round, fools had taken Mahomes, they had taken Burrow, they had taken Lamar Jackson, and they were taking Josh Allen. I was like, shit, I better grab fucking Herbert while I can. And I did. And I rode his arm all the way to the championship and another second place finish. Bobby, I'm winning that damn league this year. All right. So that's the outlook we got right there, guys. So just trying to school some of you guys to this that aren't too familiar with it. If you play fantasy football year in, year out, JP, Isaiah, my brother Bobo, you guys, I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know. We all already have our own strategies. And once you learn fantasy football, y'all, the more you play, you're going to start to figure out your own strategies a little bit and what works for you and the way you run your rosters. All right. So that's what I got for you guys this week on the fantasy football preview. I believe is it this weekend or next weekend that they have this big deal, and it's called the biggest day in fantasy football because it's the day that the most drafts happen on ESPN. So, but I did mine this year a week earlier than I normally do. I usually do it the weekend right before week 1, but this year I kind of changed that up a little bit. So glad to get it out the way though. And now it is time, y'all. It is time to go to. Actually, you know what? I'm trying to figure out which division I want to do first. I got 2 divisions to preview today, guys. So, and I'm gonna run through them fast, y'all, because I'm on a bit of a time crunch today. Sorry about that, but that's why I didn't want to do a live stream this week. Because next week I can do the live stream and I'm gonna ride with you guys as long as we want to make that show go. All right. I know my brother Ignacio's like, man, you do these things, man. They go a little bit too long. I know. I get it. Especially when you have a co-host or somebody, a special guest, like when Jersey's up in here, we start talking football, man. And next thing you know, it's like, God damn, 2 hours and gone by. And we ain't even got to the main topic. Shit. But it's all good, baby. Because that's what we love to do. It is football season. It is here every year. The whole year's football season now, in my opinion. But, as far as it is NFL season, let's put it that way. We're getting ready to ride and rock and roll, man. So it is time to get into my AFC North predictions. And I told you guys this was going to be a tough one for me to call. Okay, because of the fact that much like the AFC East, this shit can just flip around. It could be completely ass backwards from what I call. But I don't care. I'm going to give you guys mine anyways. And I went with the number 1 team that I have last year too. And I honestly think had they not had a significant injury to their most important player, then I think they would have gotten it. They would have beat out the Bengals. I don't have the Bengals winning it this year, guys. And I'll tell you why when I get to them. All right. But for now, let's go to my number 1 prediction. my prediction, whatever, to finish number one in the AFC North this year. And that, y'all, is none other than, you're like, yeah, just say it already, fool. Sorry, I'm trying to find my shit right here. That's none other than the Baltimore Ravens, baby. Yeah, I got the Ravens. I did pick them last year, and I'm picking them again this year. And I'm sorry, you guys, man. You know what? I'm so mad at myself. I worked all week, man. I worked hard, here at home and at work and everything on my lunches. And I had so many notes, man, for these two divisions. And last night, I took my book with me to work to make sure that, I wasn't going to miss anything. And I think I left my notes at work. So I'm like, I was going crazy this morning. So I'm fucked, y'all, as far as my stats and shit go. All right. But that's all right, man, because I'm going to wing it again. I'm going to wing it, man, and I'm going to try and just do the best I can, man, and give you guys my predictions here based on what I remember writing down and all this shit. But I'm going to look at the rosters, though, man. First of all, you got Lamar Jackson coming back healthy. As soon as he got hurt last year, what did they lost 4 of those 6 games. Okay, so I think had he been playing in the playoffs also, I think they would have beaten Cincy. They gave Cincy a run in that game. So in the playoffs, so I think now with him coming back healthy, and now they just added Odell Beckham Jr. We don't know what Odell is yet. Last we saw of him, he was balling out in the Super Bowl first half to that damn ACL. So he is injury prone. Let's keep that in mind, okay? Keep that in mind, guys. But you never know, man. It could be a big year for him. The thing is, this offensive scheme, they're still going to be very run heavy through Lamar Jackson and J.K. Dobbins. Dobbins is another one who's coming back healthy this year. He hasn't played a full healthy season yet. So this is the year that he's coming back. And could be a big year. There's Gus Edwards back there, but I don't see Gus Edwards, other than the short yardage situations, threatening J.K. Dobbins carries. Plus, also, Lamar Jackson's going to take minimum 50% of those run snaps. You know what I mean? So then you've got Mark Andrews there. I already told you guys about him. He's a tight end with when Lamar is there. Those two, that's his connection right there. That's it. He's looking for Mark Andrews. Now, keep in mind, you got Rashad Bateman, moves to the number 2 spot. He's coming in healthy. I expected him to have a big year last year. He just couldn't get it done at the wide receiver 1 spot. He was fighting injuries all year also. He moves to the 2 spot, which I think is good for him. And you got Zay Flowers, man, speedster. They just drafted. He's going to be coming out of the slot. So that's a big weapon for Lamar to have. Lamar's got an arm when he gets a guy downfield, man. He can gun it down there. So this offense is going to beat people up. They're built to run, but they're also built to where, with guys like Andrews, they can play the little short ball right there and let him do his thing. Now you got Zay Flowers in there, and this is a guy that can take the top off the defense and stretch the field. I see them doing well there. Defense is going to be all right, man. Let me take a look at. I'm trying to pull up. I tell you, I had all this stuff written down, guys, and it just. I was so mad at myself this morning, man. I'm like, damn it, where's my damn notes? Couldn't get it, though. But it's all right. That's all right, man. So, give me 1 second here. I'm trying to find something here that I actually saved a while ago. Damn it. Let's look at the rankings for defenses, man. I'm looking at the Baltimore Ravens. They were actually the number 3 ranked defense last year. And you have Roquan Smith for the whole year there now. So I expect them, he's going to do his thing. You got Marlon Humphrey at cornerback. Yeah, he's going to do his thing as well. So you got Kyle Hamilton back there, Rocky Yassin at the other side. So that secondary is very well set. They're good to go, man. Like I said, you have Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen, who is the will linebacker. And so that defensive interior is going to be very fast, and they're going to attack the ball. All right. Now, the one thing that they did do here is that they actually went and they're putting Michael Pierce there at the defensive tackle position, which is I like a lot because he's going to be that guy that kind of goes in there and plugs those gaps against the run. So I think this defense is set up to be top 5 or 10 again. And we're going to see, though. But I got the Ravens winning this division. And I don't see even the Bengals getting the number 2 spot. I don't. Okay? And I know some of y'all are like, man, this dude is tripping. No, I'm not freaking drunk. It's too early in the damn day. Okay. I'm not. After this shit, though, I'm going to go crack open a beer. I'm just saying. My number 2 squad for the NFC North division. Yeah, Hendo, you're going to love this one, bro. I am going with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. The Steelers are my team, man. To get the second spot. They're not my team, but they're the team that I'm picking to get the number 2 spot. I think they will get into the playoffs this year. They are just vastly improved, man. They added some pieces where they needed them. You're going to need, the way I look at it is you're going to need that run game. I'm still, Najee Harris, while he does get a lot of the workload, his average is what's kind of scared me a little bit. All right. And I don't know if they're going to be using him so much as a workhorse this year. Okay. But they got Jaylen Warren. So I expect Warren to share a lot of these snaps. But the thing is, you got George Pickens coming back at wide receiver. I expect him to have a big year. Okay. After his rookie year. Then you got Deontay Johnson. Very good number 2 right there. Solid number 2. You got Miles Boykin also, who they got from Baltimore. And, Allen Robinson, the third is the one, second, is the one that I think is going to be a big difference maker here because he's coming out of the slot. He's not going to be expected to take on a big load. I just don't think the Rams used this dude right. All right, Chicago didn't use this dude right. So I'm wondering, what does he have left? We're going to find out, man. But they've surrounded Kenny Pickett with a very good offense here. All right, he's got some pieces. He's got a little bit mix of veterans and young guys there. So I expect him to do well this year. Now I look at the defensive side of the ball. They had the number 10 ranked defense last year. And this, y'all, was without TJ Watt. Okay. The 2021 Defensive Player of the Year had his injury. He missed just about all the season, most of it. He's coming back, y'all. He is coming back. And then they also got Cam Hayward there now. So they also, Cole Holcomb, linebacker from Washington. So this defense was already in the top 10. They're going to be even better this year, guys. They're going to be even better this year. They picked up Patrick Peterson now. He's going to help out there at the cornerback spot. And DeMonte Casey. You still got Minka. Steelers, y'all going to be legit this year. Hendo. Yeah, man, I am not sleeping on your boys. I got them finishing number 2 in the NFC North. And I think they get the wild card spot this year, man. One of those wild card spots. Now we can talk about the Cincinnati Bengals because that is the team that I do have finishing in the number 3 spot in the AFC North. I don't know. I mean, I got to wonder, guys, like they lost so much. They really did. All right. They lost a lot, guys. And let me take this crap off. This thing ain't sorry. Let me take that picture off. It's not working for me if you're watching on YouTube. But I mean, they lost both their starting safeties. Jesse Bates and Von Bell was one of the top 3, in my opinion, safety duos in the league. They lost their starting cornerbacks. Eli Apple's gone. So they've got a whole new secondary, guys. And it's a bunch of guys that I'm just like, okay, I'm not impressed. Sure, you got that offense still. They did lose Samaje Perine. Okay, he was big on third downs. He was big out of the pass game. Very important piece to that offense. You can understand that if you know how it works with the strategy and with the game planning. You don't have to be the guy who's the bow cow like Mixon, but he was still a very important piece of this offense because anytime that they needed that little dump route on the third down, man, Samaje Perine was that dude. So now you got Joe Mixon there, and Travion Williams is backing him up. Okay, so Mixon is going to be the workhorse this year. Best believe that. Joe Burrow, running things. He's still going to have a big year on offense. You got Jamar Chase there, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, which is, to me, right there, that's 3 number wide receiver ones right there. So a lot of people would say Tyler Boyd, no, but I think he is. I think he's capable of being a wide receiver 1 on another team, but that's a whole other conversation. Now, tight end, they brought in Irv Smith Jr. from Minnesota. That's going to be interesting to see if they use him a lot in the pass game. I'm not sure how much of an impact he's going to have, but that offensive line, they struggled last year. Okay, they were supposedly out. I know they had some injuries, but remember that before the season started, and they were talking about all these different guys coming in, and it was going to be a revamped offensive line. It wasn't too impressive. So we're going to see if they can get better this year. Now on defense, though, I did tell you who they lost, and I'm not looking at. I mean, they do still have a Woozier, okay, but other than that, now they got Nick Scott at safety. I mean, their safety duo with Nick Scott and Dax Hill, I'm sorry, but that is a major drop off from what they had with Jesse Bates and Von Bell. That secondary is going to be very exposed, and they're going to be in a lot of shootouts. And it's a good thing they have the receivers they do, because they're going to need them. All right. So I am all in fantasy football wise on those receivers for the Bengals. But as far as how they're going to finish, I think that defense is going to be a liability. And I think they drop all the way down to the third spot this year. All right. So now, of course, it's time to give y'all, the team that I got finishing. Of course, last place again this year is the Cleveland Browns. And I know the Browns are going to be better, guys. I know, but I just I don't know that they still have enough. Okay, the defense, which had been good up until last year, they weren't very good last year. All right, they were not very good last year. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. Well, I may be tripping. Am I tripping? I'm not thinking of something else, man. I might be looking at just one of the sorry guys. I'm all freaking messed up right now without my freaking notes, man. I was ready to go. I worked hard on this shit. All right. So they were actually in the bottom half of defenses this year, which is very rare for them. Okay. They traded away Bradley Chubb. That was a big hit. So now I'm looking at this defense and I'm like, but what y'all got? Okay, I get it. They got Myles Garrett, who is arguably the best player in football, defense wise, second best player, I'll say, because Michael Parsons, but I'm biased. But other than that, I mean, they did add Zadarius Smith, very good edge rusher there from Minnesota. So you've got your edges set out. But other than that, on defense, man, I don't know. You got Denzel Ward there and Greg Newsome, cornerback. Okay. Uh, Damn. I don't know, man. Martin Emerson Jr., Grant Delpit at safety. Defense is going to give up a lot of points. Now, I don't know about a lot of points. Okay, they could clamp it down in the red zone like they did last year, but you're going to be able to move the ball against this defense as long as your quarterback can either get the ball out fast or you can protect your edges, man, because you're going to have that monster, say it again, Myles Garrett coming at you from one side, Zadarius Smith on the other side. Offensively, though, I mean, you got Amari Cooper, had a great year last year. Good year last year, man. So I expect him to do it again. Donovan Peoples-Jones is going to be the wide receiver too. And then they did sign Elijah Moore from the Jets. Solid slot guy right there. The key this year is going to be, I mean, Nick Chubb. It's going to go around him. All right. Best running back in football, in my opinion. I understand Josh Jacobs won the rushing title, but Nick Chubb's doing this shit consistently every single season, man. And he's going to have another good year. David Njoku there at tight end. But the key this year, the X factor is going to be Deshaun Watson. How much better is he going to be than what we saw last year? I expect him to be better because now he's got a full camp. He's going to have a full season. He's knowing the players now. How much better? I don't know. They could be the team that finishes first. If he balls out, could happen. I got to see it first, though, before I'm ready to move these guys above out of last place. So they're still the basement dwellers, in my opinion, this season. The Cleveland Browns, last place in the AFC North, y'all. So that's the way I got that one. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I'm going to run it down for you guys again. AFC North, I got the Ravens finishing first. I got the Steelers finishing second. Got the Bengals finishing in third. And they could get 3 teams into the playoffs. It's very possible. And I've got the Browns finishing fourth. And actually, I think the AFC North and the AFC East will be the 2 teams that get 3 teams into the playoffs. So now let's move on. All right, to the AFC South. I got the Jags actually finishing first, y'all. I'm gonna have to run through this quick, guys, because this shit just kind of hit me fast this week, man. And without my notes, It's getting hard to freaking focus it a little bit. I start going off the top and I start wanting to start, focusing on one team a little bit too much, man. I apologize, guys. I know I give you usually a lot more in depth into these previews, but shit happens, all right? So deal with it, man. Run with me, baby. It's all good. Do the good and the bad, right? Yeah, yeah. So we're going to the AFC South. I got the Jaguars winning this division, man. It's not even close to me. This one isn't even going to be close. Oh shit! I mean, I Trevor Lawrence to me this year, he's going to solidify himself, in my opinion, as a guy who is probably going to put himself in the elite. I think that's how big of a year he's going to have this year. I see that, y'all. I mean, I know he's not there yet, but I think where he's trending, man, and now he's got Calvin Ridley coming back. Yeah, they're going to ball out. Travis Etienne's going to be running the ball there again. Now, the thing about ETM is he's not that power runner. So they went and drafted Tank Bigsby. He's going to be that guy between the tackles, short yardage, red zone. You'll see a lot of work there, but Travis Etienne should still get the bulk of the carries there, and he's going to do well. Evan Ingram, like I told y'all, he just signed that big deal. Evan Ingram, I expect to stay healthy, dog. Stay healthy. You're going to be fine, man. He's going to have a good year as long as he stays healthy. Christian Kirk, they're gonna move him now to the slot, and he's gonna shine there, y'all. I'm telling you, because they have Zay Jones listed as their wide receiver too. He's the guy that they're gonna run deep. But Christian Kirk is a guy that when you get him in that slot, man, running through the middle, as long as you lead him, which Trevor Lawrence is capable of doing every single pass, he's gonna have a big year. Calvin Ridley is the big question mark this year. Okay, we have not seen him play since we saw Michael Thomas play a couple years ago. So there's still stuff there in the tank, yes, but physically, how long is it going to take him to get back up to this, to where he was showing potential to be? I don't know. We're going to find out, but he is wide receiver one there, and they're set up, man. They're set up to do very well this year on the offensive side of the ball. Now, we jump to the defensive side of the ball. They actually did have the number 12 defense, so they were in the top half. Now, do I expect them to do better this year? Yes, I do. You got Josh Allen anchoring there at outside linebacker, and then you've got Olukun, who's going to be there. Their linebackers are so good, guys. I love their linebacking room. Devin Lloyd gets added in there. So, and then you've got Trayvon Walker. So this linebacking, that defensive interior, it's going to be hard to run on these guys if you get past that initial line of the front four. All right, so which is possible. I mean, other than Futukasi. Yeah. Futukasi is going to be that guy at the defensive tackle spot. He is their main run stopper there, man. So we're going to see how that plays out in terms of their front four, man. But they're going to have to play well because on their back end, they're just kind of okay, from the cornerback and from the deep defensive back positions, man. Darius Williams comes through now from the Rams. Okay. What I'm thinking they're going to have to do, though, is they're going to have to outscore people. The defense could get better, though. Like I said, they were top 15 last year. They were number 12. So they don't have to be top 10. As long as Trevor Lawrence does what he's supposed to do with his weapons this year, that defense is going to be fine. All right, so I got them winning it all in the AFC South, man. So now we jump down to the number 2 spot, and I've got the Titans there. Man, I don't know, man. I mean, I know you've got DeAndre Hopkins, but Treylon Burks just got another injury in practice. We don't know how long he's going to be out. Okay, you added DeAndre Hopkins. Okay, cool. This offense is still going to go around Derrick Henry. Problem with that is Derrick Henry's getting older. I know he played 17 games last year, but he's getting banged up. He was playing through injuries last year. He's still going to get his, but they're going to have to start preparing for life after Derrick Henry after this season. But as far as this season goes, I see him having another strong campaign. Ryan Tannehill's not that dude, and I think we know this now because they went and drafted Will Levis 1 year after they drafted Malik Willis. So Malik Willis hasn't shown much. Will Levis is a guy that I think is capable if he sits back and he learns. Within about a year or two, I think he could be the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. this year will be Tannehill. They'll compete. I think this team at best is going to be 500 at best. They had the number 15 defense in the league last year, so very middle of the pack there, literally for them. And it's all anchored by Kevin Byard back there, one of the best safeties in football, and he should have another strong year. And then the linebacker, you got Harold Landry the third and Aziz Al Shahir, very good linebackers. The defense is good, guys. The defense is good. Don't let that ranking fool you. Okay, at number 15. If their offense can just be more supportive of that defensive ranking will go up. That defense is going to help them at least compete for the division, but I don't see it. I think up until the last few games, that's when Jacksonville is going to run away with it. So I got the Titans finishing in the 2 spot. And now a surprise here. Maybe it's a surprise for you guys. Maybe it's not. But I got to go. It's for the Houston Texans, man. This is going to be my number 3 team this year. And I think they're going to be better than a lot of people are anticipating. The Texans are. So when I look at their depth chart, let me pull that up right quick, man. Okay, first of all, Nico Collins. Dog, you got to stay healthy, and it's time for you to step up as wide receiver 1. Okay? You get a pass last year because it was your rookie season. All right, and Brandon Cooks was there. But I expect Nico, excuse me. Damn, what the fuck was that? Puberty? I expect Nico Collins to take on the full load as the wide receiver 1 this year. They did bring in Robert Woods, so he's going to be that wide receiver 2. I still don't like him in that spot. Robert Woods shines when he's in the slot, so we could end up seeing him in the slot at some point. Take Noah Brown, who they brought in from Dallas, and put him at the wide receiver 2 spot, and I think that's going to be a better fit for the offense. But the big one here is C.J. Stroud, rookie out of Ohio State. They drafted him. He's the guy I told you was my number 1 quarterback going into this draft. And I think it's going to take him about a half a season, but I think he's going to have a good rookie campaign. I really do. I mean, you got Dalton Schultz, who they brought in from Dallas. He's going to be probably, in my opinion, he'll probably get the second amount of targets on this team. So I know what he can do when he gets the ball. And then you got Dameon Pierce running the ball. They have Devin Singletary behind him, which is good because Dameon Pierce, he's that between the tackles runner. He's your 3-down back. But what Devin Singletary brings to this backfield, he brings the dimension of the pass game. He can come out of the backfield. That was his specialty in Buffalo. So that's going to help this offense is going to be more balanced, guys. It's all going to revolve around C.J. Stroud. I think he has a good year this year as a rookie, and good enough that I actually drafted him as my QB2 just in case this morning. So I like what the offense is doing. Their offensive line is going to be beast this year. They brought in so many guys, man. You got, of course, they got Laramie Tunsil, who's on that big contract. You got Kenyon Green there now, Shaq Mason, Titus Howard. Yeah, these guys are going to be a force to be reckoned with up front. Everything is set up for C.J. Stroud to at least have a year where he can settle into the offense. You know what I'm saying? He's got the offensive line there. He's got the running game. He doesn't have the receivers, but he's got enough, I think, with Noah Brown and Robert Woods and Dalton Schultz to at least have some options there. Key is Nico Collins. You got to prove this year that you're going to be that wide receiver 1, man. So he's going to be the big question mark there. Defensively, excuse me. Oh, damn. Yeah, got a little bit of a up here in my throat, y'all. Defensively, they do have to get better because they were near the bottom last year, number 27. But a lot of that was because their offense couldn't do a lot. All right. And now that you've got brand new head coach DeMeco Ryans, who came from the Niners, was their defensive coordinator, this defense will get better. I don't know how much better this year. They will be better than last year. They were number 27. I expect them at least to get like number 20, maybe. DeMeco Ryans going to make a big difference, guys. He really is. All right, so he's going to bring a different kind of edge to this defense. And I really want to see what Will Anderson Jr. does. This is the guy they drafted. He's supposed to be their premier pass rusher. And I'm going to be interested to see how he does. Also, at cornerback, you got Derek Stingley Jr. So they've got some pieces there. Now they just got to work with him, man. So we're going to find out just how good they can be. But I think the Texans are going to be a lot better than people expect this year. Okay. I'm not ready to put them in second place over the Titans, but don't be surprised if something like that changes. So then we jump to last place. And of course, I got those lowly Colts. A lot of excitement there for the future because of Anthony Richardson. But he's still too raw, in my opinion. They will be starting him. He's going to take his lumps. And, with Michael Pittman Jr. there, he's got Alec Pierce as his wide receiver, too. Not a lot of strong targets in the pass game other than Pittman. All right. Now, we got the Jonathan Taylor thing going on. We don't even know what's going on with him. And if he does play with the Colts this year, is he going to be healthy? He's still on the PUP list right now. There's talk about Miami aggressively trying to get this dude, which would, that would change some things right there. But I think Jonathan Taylor, if he's not playing with Miami this year, he's going to be playing for the Colts. Okay. And he will be, the offense will revolve around him. If he is not there, though, then it becomes the Anthony Richardson show, and that could be a shit show. Just say the potential is there with Richardson. The dude is a freak of nature. He's a beast physically, but he's too raw. He's got a lot of things that still need to be developed and not enough experience. He looked good in the preseason, but this is not official NFL game speed where teams are game planning against you, where you're seeing wide receiver, where you're seeing defensive backs that are actually elite covering your guys, where you have these elite pass rushers coming at you week in, week out. So it's going to be a tough year for him. I don't see the Colts doing much this year, y'all, but they're going to build around him. I just hope they don't stunt his growth, because that happens when you rush a QB out there before he's ready as a rookie. So it can happen. They don't have the team around him like guys like, let's say Dak Prescott had in his rookie year. That team was already set up for Romo. He doesn't have that. So it's going to be a tough year for the Colts, but I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you, Colts fans. Just be ready for a tough year, man. And all I can say is hope for the best with the Jonathan Taylor situation, and just hope that Anthony Richardson grows from this year and it doesn't actually hurt his career. All right. So I'm afraid of that happening right here in this situation, man. But I don't know. It is what it is. But that is what I got for you. Look, I still got the fantasy football thing scrolling down there. That shit off, man. I didn't look. I had this thing ready to go. The AFC South preview was ready to go. The AFC North preview was ready to go. I'm sorry, guys. I was totally messed up this week, man, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. All right. So I got some things I got to go take care of right now, guys, but I'm ready to get up out of here. Also, don't forget, follow me on YouTube, the new channel, Gridiron Nation Vodcast, and also send me your mail at gridironnationpodcast@gmail.com, Gridiron Nation 1 on Twitter. On Facebook at Gridiron Nation 1. Sorry, guys. I'm a little bit messed up right now, man. My mind's just kind of all over the place. Twitter at the #1 Gridiron Nation, at 1 Gridiron Nation, or you can find me on Instagram at GGarcia_Gridiron, and at TikTok at Gridiron Nation Podcast. So I do have some fan mail. I'm not going to be able to get to them all, man. I apologize, Jersey. I know you sent me a lot. But I don't have the time right now to get to everything. This ran over way longer than I was expecting without my notes, man. I was just trying to cut with the excuses, vato. Get to this shit, loco. All right, let's do it, man. Let's get to some of these questions. He's first asking me we talked about the Blue Beetle last week. So we're going to get to that right away, man. Let me take this damn thing off. Hold on. Sorry. I got this damn... I'm still getting used to this whole... This is why I'm not live streaming every week, guys. This is why, because I'm still trying to learn to navigate this thing, remember to navigate a lot of things on this. So let's just go here and let's leave that right there. All right. So let's go to the first question. What was your first thought after seeing Blue Beetle? My first thought is I want to watch this shit again. My first thought was this could be better than The Flash, which was a pretty good movie. I loved Blue Beetle. Told you guys in my review last week. Loved it. Y'all need to go watch this movie, man. But my first thought was I want to watch this movie again. And it's a great setup for the James Gunn version of the DCU. Okay, you guys, what's pissing me off about this movie is that enough people aren't going to watch it because they don't trust Warner Brothers. This is a good movie, guys. You're gonna like it. Trust me. Go watch it. It's worth the price of admission. Okay. So the problem is when you get good movies like this, we don't get a sequel because none of y'all want to go out and watch the damn movie. All right. Go read all the reviews. Okay. Go read the user reviews, the viewer reviews, I should say. It's labeled as user reviews, but whatever. The critic reviews. Everybody's on point with this. Everybody's like, it's a good movie. Go watch it. All right. So now let's go to the second question. On a scale of A through F, what do you grade the Blue Beetle? Very good question. Maybe I'm biased because of how much I like the movie, but I'm gonna give it an A minus. I think it was, if I'm going based on everything else that Warner Brothers has put out with DC, yeah, I will put Blue Beetle up there as one of their best. Um, Different type of movie now. You can see it with James Gunn, but I dug it. I dug it. I would give it an A minus, definitely. Question number 3. Did you like the use of the Latino and Hispanic cultures in the movie? And I think that's one thing that kind of put me over the edge with this movie was that they didn't shy away from the Spanish speaking and the Spanglish. I told you guys last week how, like, raza in a Chicano household, you guys know my raza, that's how we talk. You know what I mean? It's like, where you going? I'm going to the store. Why? Porque me voy a comprar una pinche cosa de fucking milk, and I'm going to bring some back. Why? And that's how we talk, man. It's Spanglish in our households. It's not Spanish. It's not English. It's both. We do speak some Spanish, but we talk more Spanglish. You know what I mean? So that's just how we do it. And they didn't shy away from that. There was a lot of the Spanish slang, and I loved it. The culture, and the Spanish sounded more genuine, more natural. It didn't sound forced like it was read from a script. You feel me? Like a lot of shows, you're going to get that where it's very proper and clear Spanish. Like me voy a ir para la tienda. ¿Quieres algo? What? Man, talk right. I'm going to go to the store. Loco, ¿quieres algo? You want something? Vamos. That's how we talk. So it was a lot more natural like that, and I loved it. I love that about the Blue Beetle. George Lopez was hilarious, man. Well, you don't have to like the dude, but he was funny in this movie. He still is funny, and I liked that about him. And Zolo Maridueña, who is the one who played Jaime Reyes, he is the star in this movie. He killed it in this role. Loved him in it. And the supporting cast was really good. The grandma, man, the Nana, she's freaking hilarious. Gotta love her, man. She goes back to her roots as a revolutionary at some point in the movie, so it was cool. There's some drama in it, and I mean, if there's one thing about Raza is we're very, very family oriented, very, very tight knit as a family, man. We love family. Family is number one in our culture, and you could see it in this movie. And I loved it, man. So yes, I absolutely loved the use of the Latino Hispanic cultures. I love the respect paid to them. They didn't try to change it. They just went along with what we do. And it was dope, man. It was so dope being filmed there in El Paso, my neck of the woods down here. So I dig it, man. His fourth question, he says, what do you want to see next for Jaime's story? That's a good question, man, because I want to see what they go with as far as the comic book, what kind of art they do next. I want to see if they. Sorry, I'm trying to. I was trying to pull up a graphic here that I could pull up on here, but it was of the Blue Beetle, and I'm not finding it. So, whatever. Sorry, guys. But as far as for Blue Beetle, man, I don't know. I mean, I do want to see where they're going. I don't want to say too much here. If you haven't seen the movie, there's something with the mid-credit scene. Shit, it's been out 2 weeks. Okay, spoiler alert. I want to see what happens when they bring back the original Blue Beetle, who is, of course, the father. What you'll see, not his father, but y'all. If you got to watch the movie, okay, you just have to watch the movie and you'll understand what I'm talking about if you catch the mid-credit scene. But so I want to see where they go with that, man. When they bring in the older Blue Beetle, and we're going to get an idea of what they're going to do in terms of I want them to follow the comics, though. I would like to see them go with the modern. You know what I mean? Just bring in that modern audience, man, that young audience, the ones that know the newer comics. So that's where I want to see him go with that. So I appreciate you sending those in, Jersey. Now we got the football questions. All right. He says, realistically, where do you see the Cowboys finishing this season? No bias answers. Okay, okay. Now, you guys know this. I'm not the one to be that whole fucking, this is our year every fucking year. You guys know this about me, man. I'm a realist. I can be biased a little bit at times when I'm ranking certain guys or when I'm talking about Dak. I get that. But when it comes to the expectations of my Cowboys, I'm always real with it. I'm always going to come real with it. And I'm not this whole, it's all year, every year type of guy. And I'm not even going to say the word Super Bowl for the Cowboys this year in terms of my expectations. What I will say is this. The Cowboys, based on the moves they made this season, this offseason, should I say, with Brandon Cooks, bringing back Van Der Esch, bringing in Stephon Gilmore, getting Trayvon Diggs locked in, they are very much in an all-in situation this year. They're on a championship or bust year, at least NFC championship. That's the next thing. To me, an NFC championship and a good showing, win or lose, would be a successful year. Now, you want the Super Bowl, of course, we have a stacked team, but this is a team we're going to carry over into next year. Okay, so just remember that. We've got Cooks for a couple of years. We got Stephon Gilmore for 2 years. So I think that this is the year that we've got to get to that NFC championship. And to be honest, I expect this too. I do. As long as everybody stays healthy, this team is going to compete for an NFC championship. That's where I see us this year. And the defense should be, at some point this year, it's going to be between them and the Niners on who the number one defense of football is going to be. So I think everything is set up for the Cowboys to make a legit run this year. It's all going to depend on who? My boy, Dak Prescott. And I trust him. I think he's going to get it done this year. He's got a lot more to work with than he did last year, guys. Keep that in mind. At wide receiver, you got a fully healthy Gallup now this year. They brought him back too early last year. It takes more than a full year to recover from an ACL. You got Brandon Cooks now. So that is a big improvement over Noah Brown. As much as, all due respect to Noah Brown. And then, of course, CD Lamb, who's about to hit his prime. The time is now for him. And then, man, we've got Tony Pollard taking the bulk of the carries. And I'm really interested to see what we've got, man. And little Deuce Vaughn back there. He's going to be a hell of a weapon. So I see the Cowboys competing for an NFC championship this year. And I think anything less is going to be a failure. And that's when Mike McCarthy is going to be on the out. And that's when Dak Prescott, depending on how he plays, if it's bad, they could be like, all right, you're on the hot seat next year. But we're going to see. That depends, man. They're working on an extension right now. So I expect them to have a big year, though, during the regular season, as always. Now we go to the second question. Can Patrick Mahomes and KFC win back-to-back Super Bowls? Yeah, they can. They can because it's Patrick Mahomes. I mean, they lost the fastest receiver in football last year, and it didn't matter. It didn't mean shit. Because what they do, they just went out and won another Super Bowl. He's like, all right, I got Juju. I got these other guys. You know what they're looking at is Kadarius Toney becoming that next dude. But you also got Sky Moore there. So they're gonna take a lot of those wide receiver targets that Juju Smith-Schuster did get and isn't gonna have this year. Sorry. And but Travis Kelce's still gonna be the guy. He's still gonna be the main target shareholder there. And Isaiah Pacheco is going to start getting the bulk of the runs there. He's got McKinnon backing him up. So I think this offense and defense, by the way, y'all got to get Chris Jones paid. I'm just saying, y'all better hurry up because he's holding out. He's talking about holding out 8 games. He is their defense. So as long as everything stays the way it is and Mahomes is there and healthy, yeah, and, Andy Reid, they got another shot. I think they are the favorite in the AFC until somebody knocks them off, man. Straight up. They are the favorite, in my opinion. But watch out for those Chargers in that division, though. Kellen Moore there now. He's perfect for a quarterback like Justin Herbert. And I think Eckler is going to be looking to ball out this year. They added some more weapons. They got their defense coming back fully healthy now. They had so many guys injured. All their stars were hurt last year on defense. So for the Chargers. So just watch out for them out of that division. But yeah, I think the Chiefs right now are and should be the favorite to win the Super Bowl again this year. Till that changes. Somebody knocks them off, of course. Now, third question, where do you see the XFL and USFL in the next 3 years, 3 to 5 years? All right. And this is funny, man, because I'm looking, that's the last question. I'm like, I'm not going to get to all your questions, Jersey. Sorry. And here I am getting to all the questions. I'm like, fuck it. I'm already over my time. Let's keep rolling with this. So I do think right now, from what I'm seeing, dog, the XFL is in a better position to kind of keep growing, to get better. USFL is hurting themselves right now, man. Like straight up, I'm being honest. The USFL is in trouble because they're talking about not putting their teams in their home cities next year. I don't know if they can survive a third season in the hub system. I don't like it. I was okay with it. I told y'all that before. First 2 years, I was okay with it. But this year, nah, man, USFL, I don't know what their plans are. They're talking about some big announcements coming up soon. I'm thinking they're going to add hub cities. That's not good enough for me, man. It's not. I love what I see on the field. The product on the field and the presentation at USFL is better than the XFL. At least this last year was. XFL is going to get better at that next year, though. Mark my words. So the USFL, though, the product on the field and the presentation is only going to take them so far. The fan excitement and engagement there at the games and when you're watching on TV is big, man. And I think without that, they're going to start losing interest. So if the USFL doesn't do something major to compensate for not having the teams in their cities this offseason, I don't know if I see them even surviving 5 years, to be honest, the USFL. The XFL, on the other hand, they're handling this offseason nicely. When we're nitpicking about things like, well, they should have at least streamed the draft, they should have done this, then, I think they're doing good because they have the fans, they have the cities, with their teams. They're talking about the training camps this winter going on in their cities. The fan excitement is there with St. Louis and Washington and Seattle. They did lose Danucci, but A.J. McCarron is the face of them now, and I think Luis Perez is going to put his face on that too. They will be the face of the XFL. You've got they understood the business module. Dwayne Johnson and Danny Garcia and their partners, they understood they were going to lose money this first year, maybe the first 2 years. But that's the way it works when you have business like this. They're trying to build a brand, and I think they're on the right path. I can see the XFL being even bigger in the next 3 to 5 years, getting better every year, getting bigger every year. I think by year 5, maybe even we'll see how they do next year, maybe even by the end of year 3, by year 4, we could be seeing them expand to add 2 more teams. I see that. As long as next year they get better, the ratings get better, which I think will happen, then I see it, man. And a lot of it is because this year, we talked about it yesterday on the Gridiron show, that over 100 players between the USFL and XFL have signed NFL contracts. Some of them are getting cut already. Some of them have been cut, and some of them will be cut, but there will be guys on NFL rosters this year that played in the spring leagues this last year. So that's a good thing right there. That's going to get people's attention. And I see good things for the XFL. USFL, I'm on the fence about, though. I don't know yet. I don't know, man. I got to find out what changes they make this offseason as they get ready to begin their off-season program soon. It's going to be big for the USFL, but right now I do see the XFL just growing over the next few years, man. So, Jersey, thank you so much for those questions, brother. I did have another Mendez, but Eddie, based on your question, I'm hoping I can save it for next week. And I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to read that through next week. Next week, y'all, I'm going to be giving my in-depth preview, and I promise you, I will be fully ready for the AFC West, baby. This is going to be a fun division to talk about because that's where the Super Bowl champs are, and that's where my favorite quarterback, not named Dak Prescott, is. Mr. Justin Herbert himself, man. So we're going to break that one down next week, y'all. And I'm also going to look ahead to week 1. I'll probably pick about 3 games, go in depth with them. There's some good ones, so I'm going to have to choose carefully. But you know the Cowboys and G-Man are going to be one of them, man. So I'm going to go live, and we're going to be doing a live stream next week, y'all. I'm going to try and do it early or later. I want you guys to tell me, would you rather see me do the live stream probably about as early as I did it this week, maybe about 12 o'clock, 11:30 next Sunday, or would you rather see me do it, in the evening, maybe about 6, 7 o'clock when everybody's winding down, getting ready to relax? Let me know, guys. All of you, I want you to let me know when do you want me to do the live stream next week? All right, but we're going to do this next week. It's a big week next week. I will be ready. I promise, guys. Gonna have a lot to cover. Gonna have some games to talk about. Finally, baby, week 1 is upon us. It's almost here. NFL, I'm ready to go. Fantasy football season is here, and I love the drafts. I got one coming up here. So I'm gonna get at y'all, though. I'm about to roll up out of here, guys. So just an FYI, guys. Oh, crap. Am I hearing thunder outside? What's going on? This is crazy. I don't know. Something crazy outside, but anyways, damn, I just had a draft start. What the hell? How many drafts do I got? Shit. I'm looking at my drafts coming up, guys, and it's crazy. It's crazy. So, anyways, I'm out, y'all. It's time for me to get up out of here, but I'm sorry. I'm not ready with a message this week. All right? I'm going a little stir crazy. I got so much shit going on today. But I always end it with a message anyways from Bruce Lee. You already know, man. No matter what life's throwing at you guys this week, man, you keep your chin in the wind. You just keep walking on, man, no matter what happens. If you need somebody to reach out to, get at me. I don't always have the answers, but I can almost guarantee that I'm going to relate to some of the shit that you got going on. So no matter what life throws at you guys, already know, in the words of the great Bruce Lee, all you got to do is be water, my friends. I'm out, familia. I'm going to catch y'all again next week. Let me know what time are we doing this, freaking live stream next week, man. I want all y'all to join me next week on the live stream. Let's have a full conversation, man. And let's have some fun. But y'all be on the lookout. Follow me, subscribe on the new social media. All right. And I'm about to get up out of here, guys. But like I said, be water, my friends. And please, please continue to be good to each other and continue to be good to yourself. And I am out of here, baby. I'll catch y'all next week. Gridiron Nation, y'all. Peace.
I'll be blowing up and booming like the 4th of July. The #1 draft pick, them has-beens till they past tense. Everybody wanna feel this glory I bask in. Getting antsy when they see my silhouette in the smog. Then you struggle with your breathing as I creep through the fog. Let's get it on. Gonna meet me up in the end zone. Before they know it, when they looking up and I've been gone. We hype tonight, a show up under the lights. Gonna bring it if you really think you up for